Hello everyone and welcome back to Apprentice League. It is the start of season 15, a brand new season and a whole stack of drivers. We've got 15 drivers here as the attendance, which is one of the best that definitely I've seen in Apprentice League. At least we have pretty good attendance looking like for all the leagues so far. We've got a few new drivers on the roster as well. Forgive me if these aren't new drivers, I'm just not old enough to know. Ludwig, I don't believe he's raced before. He's making his Apprentice League debut. We have got Toaster in P3 here. He has looked very quick in the mock so far. He is making his debut over from mobile, switching over to the good side of UR2D. Axis is returning. Gerald Joling is here. Kin is making his debut. I don't believe he has raced before as well. Bluebell Boy is back on return after a very, very big vacation from the leagues. Yuri is back. Bluebell Boy, like I said, the man from Fiji is here. Thank God he's not playing in Fiji, or else he'd be on double Corvid's ping. However, he is not. He's in the UK, I think. Ludwig takes provisional pole position on his debut race in Apprentice League. If someone could tell me if he's raced before, I don't believe so, but he's taken provisional pole with a 33.63. That will most definitely be improved upon before the end of qualifying. Second lap gets improved by Peto, who has finally passed a CC for one of the first times in his career with a 33.4. In lap 2, we start the last lap of qualifying. This is Ludwig is from mobile. Thank you, Majumdar. So he has got some experience. His lap puts him still P3. Axis is up in P4. That is great to see. Toaster on debut also in P7. This has looked like a pretty decent lap from Peto. Maybe running a little touch wide there. Ricky Boy up into P2. He is playing with different controls after his PC killed itself before the race. Last lap of qualifying, it's going to be Gerald Joling who takes pole position with a 33.2. That was a pretty damn good time for him. It is Gerald Joling in P1 with a 33.2. Then 2/10 off the back of him is Peto's 33.4 that he set tied with Ludwig. So I believe they will be tied there. I don't know who's going to get that because they all done the lap at the same time. Ricky Boy in P4. He said he's so cooked, but he is in P4. He has looked pretty damn good. Axis in P5, Yuri in P6, Toaster in P7 on debut. Great race from him. Sunday Driver is returning in P8, Matthew P9. Rounding out the top 10 is BK in P10. P11 is Mr. Crunk, who sounds like he's dying. I've never heard a man sound more like Darth Vader in my life. Drazzer in P12 joining very late. Gilprad P13, Kin in P14, and Bluebell Boy in P15. Well then, welcome back to Apprentice League in Brazil. 20 laps to go. Gerald Joling on pole position, Ludwig on debut in P2, and Peto ready to dive bomb the entire grid. No more delay. We are on our way with a very short run into turn 1. Will Ludwig make the dive? No, he doesn't. Everyone away cleanly, and Gerald Joling has already got a substantial gap. That is BK and Sunday Driver lag rocking each other off the face of the track. There's a massive gap back here of Bluebell Boy and Drazzer already. Gilprad has made positions up into P10, starting on the soft tires. Mr. Crunk follows him as well. Peto and Ricky Boy having a little scrap for P3 position there. Peto actually looking pretty damn good. Toaster is up into P4 from P7. He's gained 3 positions at the start of the race, and Drazzer has decided to call it quits before he's even finished a lap. That is great attendance from our boy. Are we about to go 3 wide here? No, we're not. Just 2 sets of 2 wide with a lot of ping between them all. Ricky Boy losing a position to Toaster, who has been flying in the start of this race. Ricky Boy under pressure from Yuri. We're going 3 wide into that bottom right turn, getting through quite cleanly. Toaster loses out positions, and that is a lag rocket written all over it. Peto manages to fall back a little bit there. Toaster and Ricky still having a big old scrap. It is Williams versus Zipex in JL terms. This is a great battle to see. Very clean battle so far, and it is Toaster getting the better of him into lap 3. Yuri and Peto just behind. Ludwig still following Gerald Joling's slip here for P1 with a little bit of a gap to Toaster, Ricky, Yuri and Peto. They've got a massive gap back here to Gilprad's. Gilprad's up in P8, by the way. Incredible scenes here. BK and Axis lost a bunch of positions at the start of that race there. Mr. Crunk under pressure from Sunday Driver, who got absolutely penalised by, I believe it was BK. Where is BK? They are up in P9. Mr. Crunk and Sunday Driver getting a little bit twitchy there in their fight. Gilprad and Matthew still having a little fight here. Matthew not known to be the cleanest of drivers when fighting. We've still got this big old pack. Yuri getting shown to the runoff there. Toaster making the move down the inside, and it's Petal that leads this pack, trying to catch on to the back of Ludwig and Gerald Joling. Ludwig now trying to come out of his shell and make a move on Gerald Joling. He thinks he's faster, but does not get it done. Goes for the switchback, goes hella wide into the second of the hairpins. Yuri running a little bit wide there. Toaster managing to catch up, just missing out on that grass cut there. That will lost him about a tenth. However, it does not matter with this incredible slipstream. Not incredible by the fact that it's good, incredible by the fact that it's overpowered as hell. Petal weaving on the straight there, trying not to let Ricky Boy pass, gets the grass cut there. That actually benefits him there somehow. Very interesting. Toaster just hanging at the back. What are they doing? Why are they weaving? What the hell is going on? I think, right, they're forgetting that there is no tire warming feature in this game, and Petal is shown to the grass there, quite rightly so. He was weaving on the straight. We do not want to see that. It is Toaster and Ricky Boy still having a very, very lovely battle for the last of the podium spots. Ricky trying to go down the outside on the main straight here, maybe into turn one. Petal now under pressure from Yuri. Ludwig and Gerald Joling still fighting. Ricky down the inside, defending his position very nicely here. This is a great battle to watch. Petal still just behind, trying to catch on. Toaster on the medium tire, so he could look to just slipstream Ricky now, because Ricky is looking to catch up to the back of Ludwig and Gerald Joling. At the back here, we've got a big old pack getting led by Gailprad, which is insane to see. Sunday Driver has gained a bunch of positions. That is 3 or 4 since he got pushed off at the start of the race on the hard tires. Everyone else is on the soft. That is cool. Gailprad hopefully not getting killed by Sunday Driver or Axis. Axis getting shown to the wall, takes Matthew Gill with him, and through goes BK up into P10. Gifted that position on a play. Axis into the pits, almost taking BK with him. Gailprad defending his position from Sunday Driver as Petal exits the pits. Gailprad will not be getting any slipstream bias off of Petal there. And we've got Gerald Joling and Ricky Boy now fighting for P3. What has happened to Joling? He has pit. That's what's happened. And Toaster has completely cleared himself from the pack of Ricky Boy and Yuri. What's happened to Ricky Boy? I have no idea. He is struggling out there on those soft tires. What has happened to the Dutch man? I have no idea, but Toaster is flying on those medium tires. He is now catching up into the back of Ludwig on those mediums. He is absolutely flying in this race so far, looking for the double medium strat. He is doing very well. At the back, we've got a big battle between Axis, who goes through on the new soft tires. Ricky Boy calling a TP for, who is that going to be? That will be for Yuri. We will watch this battle here. Both drivers claim to fame being not wanting to let anyone pass, being very, very stubborn, and not exactly the cleanest driver in the book. Yuri is on the better medium tires and now goes into the pits very, very early, trying to disparate himself on strategy to Ricky Boy. Ludwig comes out of the pits. Ricky making loads of mistakes. Ludwig out of the pits. 3 seconds behind Gerald Joling. Holy undercut. He is on a believe that looks like he's going to be doing 3 sets of softs, which is maybe not optimal with the tyre length. Toaster still leading this race. He will pit next lap. Will he be caught by Gerald Joling before the end of this lap? I doubt it. On the new soft tyres, we have got new rules here with the tyres, where the mediums and hards no longer have such an advantage, trying to encourage people to use the softs a little bit more. Get ready for UL earlier or later today, where you're probably going to see a lot of people running the multiple soft stints, more pit stops and more tyres, hoping to get a bigger advantage over the long runners here, like Toaster, who is going to be coming into the pits this lap onto a new set of medium tyres. He is absolutely flown on this stint. He comes into the pits after one of the best stints I think we will see all race, if not all season. P7 up into P1. He will come out of the pits, I believe, either in P3 or just behind Petal in P4. Never mind, he comes out ahead of his other Williams partner in P3 position. Sunday Driver has gained his way up into P5, just not pitting as of yet. That gives Ricky Boy the provisional P5. He has not been doing too well out there on his soft stint, doing the soft 9 medium 11 strategy here, looking a little bit twitchy as well. Axis up into P7. He's actually cooked on his strategy as well. I believe he's doing the same strat as Gerald Joling, maybe the 2-stop on all soft. Yuri down to P8 after getting a little bit harassed by Ricky Boy. Kin should give way to Mr. Crunk here on the better tires. Please don't drag him into the pits. He does not. Mr. Crunk should pass down on the inside on his screen. He's ahead on Kin's screen. He probably doesn't know what trailers are. Mr. Crunk through on Kin up into P9. BK also just behind on the medium tyres, trying to get past the lapped car, or not lapped car, just the not there on provisional car of Kin, and getting thrown around there by Mr. Crunk's trailer. Very, very interesting stuff. BK around the outside of Mr. Crunk with a great move from the Turkish driver. Mr. Crunk has to concede that position. We'll try again down the inside into turn 1. Kin pits onto soft tyres. Sunday driver out on medium tyres. Mr. Crunk cannot get the move done. BK doing a masterclass in defensive work here. Sunday driver comes out of the pits in P8, hoping to catch onto Yuri on the better medium tyres. Axis in P6. He's gained 4 positions since he got pushed down to P10 at the start of the race. Ricky White in P5 just did not cook on his strategy. Gerald Joling now into the pits onto his 3rd set of softs. He comes out in P3 and he's got those 2 drivers just ahead on the 3 times better tyres. In physics, that does not actually make them 3 times as fast. He's not going to do a 10-second lap time. He will just be a hell of a lot quicker if you can keep it on the track, which he is doing very nicely. He's already caught up to Mr. Toaster, who has had an incredible debut race. He is in P2, looking to go into P3 now, after he gets passed by Gerald Joling. If he slips Gerald Joling and hopes Ludwig makes a mistake, he's fighting him actually here. No, he doesn't. He backs out of that just very late into turn 1. Gerald Joling will now get Ludwig onto the straight and into that bottom right hand corner. Ludwig making a little mistake. Toaster going around the outside, hoping to use the slip of Gerald Joling to his advantage. Gets the inside and goes through on Gerald Joling as well. He is up into P1. Toaster leads the race on debut on those medium tyres. Gerald Joling just behind him on the better soft tyres, and will get through. Toaster just slot into that space and slip him. No, he is not. He is a mobile driver by heart. He is going for the move. Of course he is. Getting defended really well by Ludwig, and that means Ludwig goes through into P1. Toaster, what are you doing? He is a mobile driver by training, so when he sees a gap that exists, he goes for it, in the wise words of Ayrton Senna. Mathigo asking, I believe that's Axis, if he can slip him. Going 3 wide. Toaster off the track into the hairpin section, getting a little bit too comfortable behind the car of Ludwig, trying to make another gap and get absolutely shoved onto the grass. He is on better tyres to Ludwig, so he could still be in the fight for P2. However, that P1 slot, like it was not that long ago in what track was that? Kazagura, where Gerald Joling got the gap very late in the race, going on the soft strategy and won by about 3 seconds. He looks like he's going to be doing the same thing here today in his next race. Toaster down the inside of Ludwig into the hairpin and grass cut section. First grass cut, nice, misses the second one. All the drivers are missing that second grass cut and the third one. Only Ricky Boy I've seen. We've got 2 wide into the bottom right section. We've got a big old pack between the 2 McLarens and the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls, V-Carb, Alpha Tauri, whatever you want to call them. BK as well, making the move on Yuri, getting pushed around by Yuri, who, like I said, is not exactly the cleanest of drivers. Up at the front, though, it is still a battle between Ludwig and Toaster for the P2. Gerald Joling has now got a 2.5 second gap coming up to lap Bluebell Boy, who had absolutely no practice. In fact, they didn't even know what track it was coming into this race. That is the DNF from Drazzy we were looking at there. Toaster down the inside into the last proper turn and onto the main straight. Ludwig will now get the slipstream on the back straight, and we'll try and go down the outside, not the optimal line, if you want to make a move into turn 1. Never mind, he backs out of it. He's going to slip him for another lap. Maybe we'll try and make the move on the last lap. However, this is Apprentice League, folks. When do people think about the moves that they make? Absolutely never. That is right. Up at the top, still Gerald Joling by now about 3 seconds. Toaster still down the inside of Ludwig, who is trying to get the switch back on Toaster in that Aston Martin car. Petal is somewhat catching actually on those soft tyres. That could be very interesting to watch out for if he can catch that 2 second gap before the end of the race. Ricky Boy in a world of his own on those failing medium tyres. BK, Sunday Driver, Yuri and Axis all in that fight for P6. It is still Toaster and Ludwig now fighting on the final lap. We watch this battle until the end here. Joling has 100% got this race done, unless his car explodes or his PC explodes. But Ludwig trying to go down the outside with a much better exit there with his slipstream, cannot get it done. Tries to go to the inside, cannot. Once again, both taking a wide line into the second of the hairpins. It looks like Petal is out of this. Gerald Joling is going to come down the final straight out of the final corner, and he is going to win very dominantly the first race of the season. This is the benchmark for the rest of the season. Gerald Joling wins in Brazil. Toaster takes P2 on debut, just besting Ludwig 2, who finished P3. Then it's going to be Petal in P4. Ricky Boy gets the P5 position after just not having a very good soft stint. BK in P5. Sunday Driver recovers to P6. Axis takes P8 with a split decision with him and Yuri out of the top 10. It is Matthew Gill. Gil Prad just fell back a little bit in that race, ties Mr. Crunk, gets the P12, Mr. Crunk in P11. It's going to be Kin on debut in P13, and Bluebell Boy crosses the line to round out the grid in P14, and last with Drazzers DNF. That was a very, very exciting race, and what a benchmark it is from the top 4 drivers. Ricky Boy just having a little bit of trouble with his keyboard in that race, and before the race having to switch his controls to something he is not well used to. Gerald Joling, very dominant race, showed he is not to be messed with coming into this season. Toaster on debut also looking very, very promising, and Ludwig just there as well, just missing out on the tyre disparity by the end of the race. That was an incredible race to watch. Also some down the back, some massive improvements from Axis, who showed decent racecraft in that race, just getting a little bit unlucky at the end of the race. Bluebell Boy in return. Gale Pratt up in P12. He's not last to start the season like he was at the start of last season, which is great to see. Always improvements from the drivers. Next week we head to Indonesia for, what is the track name? I keep forgetting. It is Singasari, which will be a very, very interesting track. It is a returning track, so we will see what happens there. But up until then, I will see you all in a week's time for Singasari. Adios.